Hi guys, and welcome once again to an exciting and delicious episode here on India Food Network. Let me tell you something about myself, Maithily. I'm an architect and practicing one at that. And food has never really taken the center stage in my life till I was seconded to the most fabulous city in the world, New York City. That's where I really started keenly observing and enjoying and experiencing different cultures and cuisines through their food. So today we are going to travel all the way to Mexico and do their very staple recipe, the quesadillas. We are doing the refried bean and fresh salsa quesadilla. So what is quesadilla? Quesadilla is basically a tortilla sandwich which is packed with fantastic flavored stuffings, and it's a great balance of proteins, carbs, fats and vegetables. So for all those fabulous ladies out there who are on a diet, this is a good treat for you today. So let's get straight to the ingredients. Here we have some homemade tortillas, some refried beans, about a cup of refried beans. For the recipe of this, you can go to my playlist on India Food Network and you'll get the recipe for the refried beans. We have one small onion finely chopped. We have 2 tomatoes here. We have about 1/4 cup of cooking cheese. We have 1/4 cup of jalapenos. Then we have 2 tablespoons of Sriracha sauce. Now Sriracha sauce is this really tangy, hot and salty sauce which is used widely in Mexican food. So you have to have this on hand. We have about 1 tablespoon of coriander just to get the fresh flavors. We have about 1 tablespoon of sour cream to serve our quesadillas with. We have a wedge of lemon and some chillies and some green onions to finally present it with, and some oil to just baste it. So let's start by making the fresh salsa here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically chop the tomato in half. What we're going to do is we're going to remove the pulp. So we don't want any of the pulp and the seeds. Just get it all that. Otherwise your salsa is going to become very soggy. So that is the reason why we are removing the pulp and the seeds. So just scoop out from this and just remove the excess juices. And salsa is one of the staple sauces or condiments of Mexican food, and the ladies make it almost every day. Every meal has some element of salsa in them. So you can make a green salsa with some green tomatoes. This is of course the very common red salsa. And the chilies that the Mexicans use is the fresh jalapenos, which are really these large green chilies. And they are not as hot as our regular small green chilies, but they impart just some fabulous flavors. So if you get some jalapenos on hand, please do use them. So we've got the pulp out. Now we're going to finely chop these tomatoes. First sliver them and then dice them. And making fresh salsa always helps because canned salsa has some vinegar and some preservatives which really change the taste of these quesadillas. And especially those ladies who are watching their calorie count, you better make fresh salsa because there's tomatoes and there's fresh coriander and onion, which is just perfect for your health. And this is a rustic salsa, so you really don't have to worry about every piece being of the same size. So just go ahead and roughly chop them so that you get a nice rustic salsa. And I'm using 1 onion again and 2 tomatoes because onion can be very overpowering. So the acidity from the tomatoes is going to balance it out. So that's why we are using a ratio of 1:2. Perfect. So our tomatoes are chopped and we drop them straight into our bowl here. Just drop in our onions in the bowl. Now I'm going to take my green chilies just halve it in the center and remove the seeds, because the heat is all in the seeds and not in the skin. So if you remove the heat, it won't be so overpowering. So just remove all the seeds here and just roughly chop them and drop it into our salsa. Then I have some really tangy and hot jalapenos here, which I'm going to roughly chop again. Now this really gives the kick to the salsa that we require. So sometimes, people add jalapenos on top of the quesadillas or the refried beans, but I just like to mix it with that so all the flavors come together really wonderfully. So just give it a rough chop here. As much as you need. Now I'm using about 2 to 3 tablespoons, but if you need more, if you like more, please go ahead and use more. This recipe is pretty much what you like and how much you like. So there are no definite measurements for this. Lovely. I'm going to add some fresh ingredients like coriander and just a little squirt of lime. And just give it a quick mix. Now there is some salt with the jalapeno, but please do add some salt to give it that little balance. So my absolutely delicious salsa is ready. So let's get to making the quesadillas. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to heat the saute pan on medium heat. Just put about half a teaspoon of oil just to crisp the edges, crisp the sides of the tortillas, just very gently. And I'm going to place one tortilla right onto the pan. Wasting no further time, I'm going to take my refried beans and just give it a nice layer on the tortilla. So that's our first layer in the quesadilla. Smelling gorgeous in here. Now I'm going to add the very fresh salsa that we made, just a layer on top. And make sure you get the onions, you get the tomatoes, you get the jalapenos and the fresh coriander. Lovely. And now we are going to add that extra kick that we want. We are going to add some Sriracha sauce on top, just to give it that extra Mexican flavor. And trust me guys, when this flavor goes in your mouth, it's going to be a party out there. And finally, we are going to add some cheese on top. And put the other tortilla. And just press it like this and give it a quick flip. That's how you want it. You want to press it nicely so that all the flavors get together and we have this cheese oozing out of the quesadilla. Lovely. So give it a nice press here. So while my other tortilla is roasting out there, I'm going to give a rough chop to my spring onions here, just to garnish the quesadilla. Just give it a quick flip again. Gorgeous. And this really takes 2 minutes or so. So our quesadillas are done. Just get them onto your board. So now what we are going to do is to serve them with a nice pizza cutter. I'm just going to cut it into wedges like these, just so that it becomes a little more easier to eat. Just get it all together like this. And just place it nicely next to each other. You can even cut it further into smaller wedges if you like. whatever suits you. And I'm going to serve it with some fresh green scallions or spring onions. So get the white as well. Lovely. And I'm sure all your friends out there are going to love this recipe. Okay. So just serve it with some green onions, just scatter them around. Just see how pretty it looks. And just serve it with some sour cream. You cannot have this Mexican dish without the sour cream. So my fabulous refried beans and fresh salsa quesadillas are absolutely ready. I hope you enjoyed watching them, making for you, and I hope you enjoy eating them as well. They're absolutely delicious, they're absolutely healthy, and please subscribe to India Food Network and keep watching me for more on delicious recipes on India Food Network. This is Maithily signing off. Until next time, adios and take care.